Good afternoon and welcome to this afternoon's webinar. So today I'll be talking about how you transition from using iMindMap to Ayoa. So I'll be showing you how you import your iMindMap maps. So that's whether you've saved them as your IMX files or whether you use the iMindMap cloud. I'll also be showing you, all the features we have in Ayoa that will be familiar to you from using iMindMap, such as organic, cleaning up organic maps, speed maps, radial, and the presenter mode, which is what I'm using right now. I will be showing the equivalents that we have. For example, instead of fast capture, we've got a new feature called the idea bank. Instead of the organizational chart, we've got flowcharts and whiteboards. And instead of brainstorm view, we've got whiteboards, which includes sticky notes and lists and images. For those of you who like time map view and the project management view, we've got a whole section of Ayoa which is dedicated to using task boards, including a Gantt timeline, which is visually really similar to time map view. Same with the project view, we've got the task boards in there as well. I'll be showing you where you can find the exports. So if you've been using Ayoa for a little while, but you haven't found, how you export your mind map to a PDF, I'll be showing you that. I'll also be explaining, the benefits of Ayoa compared to iMindMap. So, how you share your mind maps, inviting people to collaborate and public links, all in real time. And of course, the big difference between Ayoa and iMindMap is that Ayoa, you've got cross-platform support. So if you want to mind map on the go, then you can use the iPhone app, the iPad app, Android app. We even have desktop apps, and that's all included in one account. So let's get started. So if you're brand new and you've got a load of mind maps you want to bring over, first of all, navigate to all boards. You can find that on the home page. So all boards, that's on the left-hand side. Once you've got to all boards, click on New. You'll see right down the bottom here, we've got Import. So if you click here, you've got two options for importing your mind maps. So if you've just been saving your mind maps as .imx files, it's as easy as just dragging and dropping it in. So for example, this is a folder of iMindMap files that I've saved earlier. And I'm just going to drag and drop that file in. And now it's importing it. So once that file is imported, I'm going to be able to access that file on any other device that I use. Unlike iMindMap, I don't need to go through the process of syncing it or transferring my files to different computers. Wherever I log in, I will be able to see my mind map and I'll be able to continue editing it. So I'm just going to open this up and show you what we have here. And I can see a few people have just joined us. So just to let you know, we are recording this session. So don't worry, you haven't missed too much so far. But if you do want to go back and look at earlier in the presentation, you'll be able to do that when we send out the recording tomorrow. Okay, and here we go. We've got a mind map here, which I've created in iMindMap, and now I've imported it into Ayoa, where I can continue to edit it. I can now add people to collaborate with me in real time. So suddenly, mind mapping can be this really wonderful collaborative experience. So I'm just going to go back to the home page and back to all boards. And I'm just going to show you how you would import files from the iMindMap cloud. So all boards, back to New, and click on import. So now if you've used the iMindMap Cloud and Mobile before, then just enter your username and password here, click sign in, so once you've signed in and once it's loaded, you'll be able to search through whatever mind maps you want to bring over, and you'll be able to continue editing them. So it won't affect the original file. So if you're still at the moment switching between iMindMap and Ayoa, let me just try that again. Mind maps. So if you are still using iMindMap quite a bit, you don't need to worry about overwriting your old files. You can keep the two separate. So as you can see, I've now got a list of previous mind maps that I have. So I'm going to import this one. And once it's imported, I'll be able to use it on Ayoa on any device, and I can start inviting people and collaborating with other people and be able to use all the extra enhancements that Ayoa has. Go, and I'm just going to open up that mind map. There we go. So, it's opened it up in the original style it was in. So I've got all my floating images and all those different styles. And if it's a little bit messier than I was expecting, perhaps I haven't edited it in a while, you can go up here to this menu and click clean up and just get that mind map straightened up. So you can see it's much tidier now. So this is the organic view. Now, I know when we first launched Ayoa, we hadn't brought organic mind maps out yet, which I know, many of you, that was the reason why you weren't quite ready to come over to Ayoa, but we've had organic mind maps for quite a while now. So, you can manipulate the branches. You can move them anywhere around the mind map that you want. And you've got your images, which you can freely move about as well. So you've got that same, creative functionality there. We also brought over Radial Maps about a year ago, which we know is a very popular view. And you can switch between those views by clicking up here and clicking View As. If you click on the Radial Map, and here we go. So you've got those segments and that same functionality here. So to manage the view, we automatically make it so that only 3 tiers show. But if you click down here, you can increase that. And then a new sort of view compared to iMindMap are speed maps. So they are more like the professional style maps in iMindMap. So, straighter lines. The text is contained within boxes. And the idea behind this view is that it just allows you to get your ideas down, really quickly. So, when you add a new branch, it will sort of clean up automatically. So you don't have to worry so much about format. It's just about getting your ideas down as quickly as possible. And as you can see, this is a mind map that I've imported from iMindMap, and I can use all those stars in Ayoa on it. It doesn't matter that I originally created it in iMindMap. So if you've never been into into Ayoa before, to create a new mind map, click here. And you can start off in any of those 3 views that I showed you. And you can switch between them at any time. So, even if you start off in a speed map, you could decide to switch to Radial Map later on. And we've also got some templates to choose from, and you can start creating your own as well. So if you start bringing over mind maps that you use on a regular basis, it's really, really easy to set them up as a template. In fact, I'll show you how to do that right now. So this is a mind map that I've created earlier. And if I want to turn this into a template, all I have to do is click up to the settings here and click Create Template from Mind Map. And once I've created that template, I'll be able to see it on in this starting Create Mind Map menu. So when I go to Create Mind Map now and click on my templates, I've got that template right at the top. Now I'm not going to use that right now. I'm just going to start from blank. And because I know it's a popular view within organic, within the iMindMap, user base, I'm going to start off in organic. I'm just going to quickly show you, creating branches and maybe features that you wouldn't be sure of yet. So you can choose your central idea. So we'll be adding shapes. And here you can choose from different stickers, or you can add your own image. So either from your device, or if you search the web, we've got a built-in royalty-free website to search images for. And that's really, really handy if you're in a rush and don't have time to search for the perfect image. I'm always going to choose this image. And create the central idea. So when you're in the organic view, if you choose this green plus icon, you just create a regular organic branch. So that will be familiar to you from iMindMap. And then if you choose the blue one, the box, you create a box branch. And much like in iMindMap, our speed keys, click tab, and that creates a new child branch. And click enter to create a sibling branch. So, so far, really familiar. So when it comes to editing the branches, just click on the branch and then click on the paintbrush. And this opens up a side panel. This first tab is all the information that you need to change the style. For example, I can add a box branch. I can change the color of the box branch. I can choose from more colors in here as well. If there's a particular hex color you want to use. I can change the branch style here if I want to. And I can change the branch color. If I want to apply that style to all the following child branches, I just click Apply Style to Children. So when it comes to adding images, click Add Image up here, and you've got Upload, search for a royalty-free website, image, emoji icons. So, if you liked icons in the previous iMindMap, we've got so many emojis that you can choose from, which have very much the same style. So if you used icons on your branches, this is where you want to be looking. So if I just add an image, so here I can choose, if I want to just keep it, left or right. I can also choose to make it a cover image. And here I can increase and decrease the size. If I want to remove the text, because sometimes an image just speaks 1,000 words, I can untick that and remove it. So if it is in a box branch like it is right now, it will be framed within that box branch. But if I choose no box, then I can move that about as much as I want. So I'm just going to switch to my map that we imported earlier, just to show you just a few other features that you may not have seen. And then what I'll be doing is taking you to some other views that pretty much replace previous views that we had in iMindMap. I do apologize. I seem to be having a little bit of internet trouble. Just bear with me. There we go. So a question I get quite a lot from my iMindMap users is, how do I print, how do I export my iMindMap? Well, that is all in this menu here. So if you wanted to print your iMindMap, click on Export and choose to export it as a PDF. If you click PDF image, this will export it to a high resolution image. And once it's exported, then you'll be able to print it out or share it with other people. There we go, and that's my PDF, so I can just print that out whenever I want. Within these export options as well, if you want to export it as a PNG or a JPEG image, you've also got that option. And if you tended to use, iMindMap to outline, maybe stories you were writing, reports or planning like that, you still have the option to export it as a Word document. So that's all in there as well. So finally, the feature that I'm going to show you within this iMindMap view, before I start showing you, other features as well, is the presentation view. So this is exclusive to Ultimate and is quite a new feature for us. So I'm just going to switch over to the speed map view and show you this presentation. So if you have ultimate mode, Ayoa Ultimate, you'll find the presentation player right here. So you can either just pick and choose what branches you want to add. So you can just add in a few key ones. Or if I click add all, that will just add every single branch there. So I'm going to click on the central idea, then click start presenting. So I can just close that. And the thing is, these aren't just static slides. So I can zoom in and zoom out of this presentation throughout it. I'm not just stuck with just one image. And I can move back and forth, show that presentation, and I can zoom out at any point to give an overview of the whole iMindMap. And because Ayoa can be accessed on the web app, on any computer, I don't have to worry about exporting it as a presentation. I don't have to worry about making sure that I have that file or a laptop. I could literally log on anywhere into my account and I'd be able to access and play this presentation. And you can see, you know, I'm using this with Zoom, and you can imagine how effective this would be during an online meeting or a call with a client. It's just so easy and simple to use, completely straightforward, you know, doesn't involve being particularly technical. You know, you literally just click add all, and then I can stop presenting. But I can go back to that presentation at any point. It's there, just ready for me. So a view that people have asked about is brainstorm view. Now this is a view that we had in iMindMap. So we haven't brought over literally brainstorm view to Ayoa. We've created something even better, and this is called the whiteboard view. So, you know, it has features that the whiteboards had. So we've got lists, we've got sticky notes, but we've got additional features as well. So you can organize them into sections. You can add links to other boards. So if you had, you know, links to other mind maps that you wanted to share within this whiteboard, you can do that. You know, you can add attachments like different documents, different web links, all within this same space. And for those of you who use organizational view within iMindMap, we've also got a flowchart builder within here as well. So, you know, if the mind map view doesn't quite work for what you want to do, like you need to create a flowchart, a hierarchy, an organizational chart, don't worry, you know, create a whiteboard and you'll be able to build one in here. And if you're not quite sure where to start, we have so many different templates for you to choose from, and they're all available here. So they'll give you an idea of, you know, how to set up sections, ideas on how to build different flowcharts, and there's so much content in here that you'll find really useful. So I'm just going to very briefly just show you like a few of those features that you would have used in the brainstorm view, just so you know where to find them. So once you're in here, like this view is so easy to use. It's literally drag and drop. So if you want to add sticky notes, you know, like you had in brainstorm view, it's the top option. You can choose different shapes, which, you know, we didn't have in brainstorm view in iMindMap. Just pick your color and drag and drop. And it's easy as that. You can add, you know, multiple sticky notes onto your board. You can use it to, you know, get down different ideas that you maybe don't want to quite format like a mind map. And if you want to contain them, you can drag and drop them onto each other and create a collection, you know, just a way to organize and save space. Within brainstorm view, you know, we also had lists, and we've got them in the whiteboard view as well. So you can pick and choose the color, just drag and drop it onto the board. And start adding in your list items. You can condense it so it doesn't take up too much space and you get this scroll bar, or just make it as big as you need to. You know, looking back at this, you know, whiteboard that I've created earlier, you can see how, you know, you really easily be able to recreate the things you had in brainstorm view, but with far more functionality. And just like in the mind map view and in the taskboard view, you can invite people to collaborate. So, you know, this is the big difference between, you know, iMindMap and Ayoa. You know, you can collaborate with people in real time. You can invite people to view your boards. You don't have to worry about, you know, sending them PDFs and all this different information, you can literally invite them and they can take a look and even add, their own ideas and contributions there. So I'm going to show you the flowchart builder. If you use flowcharts in the iMindMap view before, this will be really useful for you and actually gives you far, far more functionality than the flowchart builder in iMindMap. If you look in here, there are so many different icons to choose from. So, it doesn't matter, what process map, what flowchart, what hierarchy you need to build, you'll have the icon you'll need in here. And if it isn't in here, you can just copy and paste an image. And everything is just so easy, just drag and drop. And start building the flowchart. If I open one that I made earlier, and I'll also be able to show you the extra different features that you have within there. So if you needed to print out, just this flowchart or the hierarchy chart you've made, you can go to diagram, you can print, you can export it as an image. You couldn't do that in iMindMap. You just had to print out the iMindMap with the flowchart on the side. This just gives you, so much flexibility. It's just so easy to use. And then just drag and drop it onto the board. So going back to this one that I've made earlier, it's also really easy to share this. So if you did want to export it as an image, you can do that up here. And what you can also do is if you've started a whiteboard and realize you should have done it as a mind map, you can do that. Just go up here and click export as a mind map. And you can drill down into those different ideas. So I'm just going to quickly just pop back to a mind map that I've done earlier and talk about a feature from my mind map called fast capture. Now I know this was a feature that a lot of people loved. We haven't brought it back to Ayoa, because we've got so many other features happening. The speed maps work quite well for getting ideas down fast. But there is a feature that we've added which we think will be really beneficial to those of you who love fast capture. And that's called the idea bank. So if you go to the menu, you will see an option called Show Idea Bank. And up here, I can really quickly add different ideas that I'm not sure where I want to place yet. So can you see how quickly it is for me to just add those ideas? I haven't had to think about where they belong on the mind map. And it means I don't have to rejig things later. I can just put down my idea, close that idea bank. And then when I think, yeah, you know what, I know where I want to add this. Then I can go back and just drag and drop it onto the branch. And if I'm working with people, I can share those different ideas with them, or I can keep them to myself. So it's absolutely fantastic for collaboration. So that's what we've got instead of the fast capture. Or I would recommend this speed map view because it works in quite a similar way, where you're just getting ideas down and you're not having to worry about the formatting or rearranging your branches. You've just put them down and they're there. So next, I'm going to show you an alternative to the time map view. So I'm going to go back to the home page, and you can create a task board. So within iMindMap, we did play around with the idea of task management. So we had time maps, we had project management view, but it didn't quite have the flow that we really wanted. So, many of you will know that we developed Drop Task for years, and quite a few of you, may have used it before. And what we found is that, concentrating on, creating new visual styles, for task boards within Ayoa is really, really beneficial and works so nicely with mind mapping. So, you can start, mind mapping in the mind map view, all your different ideas and different solutions to your problem, but then you can move on to task boards to actually action them and organize them. So I'm just going to show you a task board. So this is a task board that I've created, and I'm in the Gantt timeline view. So you can see how similar this is visually to the time map view. I've got my different dates. I can see where the tasks kind of overlap. I can see how they're connected with each other. But if I click on it, I've got so much more information than I ever did in iMindMap. I can add start dates and due dates. I can assign them to different people, including myself, so that I can keep track of all these different due dates and who's working on what. And you don't have to be in a team to use task boards. Task boards can be used to manage your day-to-day life. You can use them to manage your own personal deadlines. Don't think you have to be a company director or working in a particular industry to use task boards. So as well as the Gantt timeline view, you can also switch to other views as well. So if you like the visuals of bubble map view in iMindMap, then you may well like the canvas view in for task boards. It's got a very similar visual style. So it gives you an overview of the different tasks that you're working on. At a glance, it's very visual and very stimulating. So, if you don't usually do so well with task management apps, if you don't particularly like lists or even Gantt charts, then the canvas view might work really nicely for you. So just to give you an idea of how you can use your mind maps with your task boards, because that might be something that's completely new to you, and might be why perhaps you haven't considered Ayoa so far. You may think that why would I need task management? Well, I'm just going to take us back to this mind map we've created earlier. So you'll see right down the bottom there's an additional option here called Taskbar. And what this allows me to do is attach a task board to this mind map. So I've opened that now. So this is the task board that I'm actually looking at over here. And I could decide actually, there's a branch here which I need to turn into a task. So if you click on this little icon here, you can click on it and it adds a brand new task. And you can do that on any of the branches. So if you mind map a lot and you have all these great ideas, but you're not actually sure how to take them from the idea stage to actually getting them done, then this will be really useful for you. And it may be, that kind of extra step that you didn't have when you were in iMindMap. You may have been using multiple different task management apps, while with Ayoa, you've got the space to do lots of different things. So you can create idea boards and vision boards within whiteboards. You can explore different ideas with mind mapping, but then you can actually set out and plan them within your task boards. There's so much functionality in here that we simply didn't have in iMindMap, and we're really excited for you to try it, go into it with an open mind, and really take the time to enjoy it and make the most out of the different features that we've worked really hard on bringing to you. So I can see there's been quite a lot of questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop showing things now, and I'm going to have a little look at what you guys have been asking, because there may be things that you guys want to see that I haven't gone through yet. Okay, so a question I'm seeing quite a bit is about purchasing Ayoa. So iMindMap, I was always like a one-off purchase, but not quite. So with iMindMap, we created new versions, every few years, from the first iMindMap to iMindMap 11. And actually that was really limiting. So, it meant that, we released one version, and because we were building it on Java, it meant things, got outdated very quickly. So we ended up having to build new versions, but we had several versions out at the same time, and it becomes very hard to maintain all those multiple versions, as certain components of it are becoming outdated. And as long as you're forever looking backwards and trying to hold together old versions of your app, it's very hard to improve and work on, new ventures. So with Ayoa, because it's a subscription app, it means that there's one version of Ayoa out there, just one version of Ayoa that we can maintain and that we can improve. So, in the almost 2 years since we've released Ayoa, we've added so much. At the beginning of Ayoa, we literally just had Taskboards and the one style of mind maps. We've added so much in that time. If it wasn't subscription-based, if it wasn't cloud-based, we simply would not have been able to do that. What you'll also find is that actually what you're paying for a one-off version, maybe every year and a half, is actually about the same amount that you'd be paying for a subscription. So there isn't much difference, in the investment, but it does mean that, we can ensure that Ayoa gets the development and the time that it deserves. So someone's asked a question about accessing Ayoa without internet connection. So Ayoa is cloud-based, but we do have a desktop apps which you can use to access Ayoa offline temporarily. So in order to do that, what I would suggest is downloading the desktop app and just making sure that you've opened and downloaded the different maps that you want to use. And to do that, all you'd be doing is simply just opening the My Maps on your desktop. And once you've done that, the My Maps will be in your temporary data and you'll be able to access them offline, which also means you'll be able to present them offline. Now, Ayoa is cloud-based, so we don't recommend that you do that, for a prolonged amount of time, because you will end up possibly, accidentally losing data, especially if you log in on a different device and make a change. Ayoa is cloud-based, but there are so many benefits to that. I've had so many messages of people over the years who, something's happened to their computer and they've ended up losing all their mind maps, or something's happened to their computer and suddenly they're locked out of iMindMap because it's been activated too many times. With Ayoa, you never have to worry about that. There is no limit to how many devices that you work on. So, I could log in on the Ayoa app, anywhere I needed to be. I can access Ayoa on my phone, and there's no limitations to that. So just to let everyone know, there are a lot of questions. So if you think your question hasn't been answered yet, there are quite a few to get through. So let me just check. So just to confirm with Ayoa, we've got a free version available as well. So if you sign up for Ayoa, you pay for a subscription, and then your subscription lapses, then you'll be subject to the free limitations. So the free limitations are access up to 5 boards. So if you've created more than 5 boards, when your account downgrades to the free version, it means you'll only be able to access up to 5 of those boards. So someone's asking about terms and conditions and security. So we actually have a page on our website that goes through all of this. So our database servers are managed by leading cloud service providers that apply security best practices and have dedicated security teams. So the server infrastructure is hosted on Amazon Web Services, and they comply with international security standards. And they are used and trusted by the most highly regulated organizations in the world. So I hope that helps. You can also, export your mind maps in different ways if you want to store them on your computer, like PDF, and you can export your taskboards as CSV. And if at any point you wish to delete your Ayoa account and purge the data, we will do that for you. Okay, sorry, just trying to read through these different questions because there's quite a lot on here. Okay, where I think I may need to answer these in more detail, I may suggest that you email support@ayoa.com. Okay. Okay, so another question I'm seeing, is it possible to export to MS Project? No, we don't have an MS Project export. We do have CSV. Can you export your notes in a notes view? If you export as a Word document, any notes that you have added to your branch in the notes panel will be exported in that Word export. So if you have any feedback or feature suggestions, I'm not really going to be able to answer them now. So if you have more questions about how to use Ayoa, or there are features you want me to show, please let me know. But if you have actual feedback, I would suggest emailing that to support@ayoa.com. Oh. Okay, so can you add links between branches in MindMap mode? Yes, you can. There's different ways of doing that. So if you open the branch and go to more, then you've got MindMap links up here, and you can choose, which MindMap you want to link it to. And you can even select the branch. Or what you can also do is, because Ayoa is cloud-based, you can literally just click on the branch, copy branch link, and attach a link here. And if I click on that, that will open up that branch and open the side panel at the same time. How do you delete the old mind maps in Ayoa settings? So if you want to delete a mind map, click on the settings, and it's this button here, delete the mind map. If you're not sure that you should be deleting it, You can also archive it, which means you can unarchive it at any point. I would recommend, if you're not 100% sure whether you'll need it again, archive it, because you can always unarchive, but you can't undelete. So just to show you that again, settings are up here. And this is actually also the place where you can rename the mind map. I know that's something that a question I've been asked a few times. So if you just click on the name, this is where you change the mind map name. Can you focus on a part of a mind map on Ayoa? You could, yes, okay. So in speed maps, you can turn on autofocus. So that's up here. And this collapses all the other branches. So you've just got the main parent branches. And then when you click on them, it will open up those branches and help you work through that mind map. Just to confirm, that's the speed map view, and click on autofocus. Zoom integration. Okay, it's not something I'm going to be able to demonstrate because I'm in a Zoom call right now, but there are a few different ways that you can access it. So in the corner here, you've got your chat. So if you start a chat with somebody, so if they're a contact, if you added them as a contact, if you invited them to a mind map or a task board, you can start a conversation with them. And you'll see this little video camera here. And you can start a Zoom meeting. So that will launch the Zoom meeting and invite them to it. We also have an Ayoa video meeting as well, and that's embedded. So you can use that without having to sign in on a different browser or anything like that. That will all be within Ayoa. But you can also launch Zoom meetings straight from mind maps or taskboards. So for example, if I click here, right down the bottom, you've got start Zoom meeting, and that will invite everyone that's on this mind map to that meeting. So if you were working in a collaborative mind map and you wanted to quickly start a meeting, that's a really great way to do that. So that is the Zoom integration. So obviously you would need a Zoom account in order to use that, and you would be subject to the limitations of whatever plan that you're on. So someone's asking about Tony Bazan certificates. We're not affiliated with Tony Bazan International. They run their own training. So for information on that, contact them. Okay, so I'm just checking if there are any questions that I've missed. If it's something that like feedback, I'm just going to type to you to email support@ayoa.com, if that's information you want to share with us officially. There we go. Okay, so I think I've answered most of the Q&A questions. So just in case anyone missed it at the beginning, to import mind maps that you created in iMindMap, you go to All Boards. You click on New and click on Import. And here you can drag and drop your IMX files or click and search, or you can log in to your iMindMap cloud and mobile account and pick and choose the mind maps you want to import. just in case there was anyone who missed that at the beginning. So we've gone through, a range of different features today that, explain, the new features that we brought in that you felt that were originally missing from Ayoa, like the organic mind map style, like Radial Map, we've got that all now. And the new features that we have that replace, those earlier features. Autofocus. Okay, bear with me. I'll just go back to that feature now. So just to let you know as well, we have loads of support guides that go through all these features at support.ayoa.com. We also have YouTube tutorials and webinars that also go into more detail about all these different features. So if you're ever stuck, support@ayoa.com is a great place to start because it covers all the different platforms. So just to go through autofocus again, I'm just going to switch this to the speed map view. So you'll only be able to use it in speed map view, but you go up here and you click autofocus on. Okay, so just to show you that again, up here, autofocus on. And then you'll be able to click on the different branches to open them out. And then go back to the menu and click autofocus off. And that's how you use the autofocus. Brilliant. Okay, so just to reiterate what I was just saying, we've got information about all these different features on support.ayoa.com. We've also got recordings of previous webinars that we've done. So we go into mind mapping in more detail, Radial Map, we've got webinars for all those different features. And then if there are any questions or anything that you're stuck on, you can always email us at support@ayoa.com and we'd be happy to help. So we do these webinars on a weekly basis, and they're really designed to help people get a better idea of how to use Ayoa, maybe see features they hadn't encountered before, and it's a chance to ask questions. So next week, we'll be doing it on Whiteboards, which, as I mentioned, is a fantastic alternative to the brainstorm view with much more functionality. Okay, so I've had another question. So I really not sure what you mean by focus. Do you mean in radial view? Is that what you're talking about? If you mean radial view, then you click to radial view. And if you want to focus on that idea, I'm really sorry. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. If you could email us, maybe explain further. When it comes to showing, hiding different branches, we've got the autofocus off, and that's available here. Okay, so someone's just explained in the chat what they mean. No, we don't have that feature. The central idea just remains the central idea. but Radial Map has something similar. So if you go to Radial Map, you can literally do that. So you can click on a particular idea and focus in, and that does make that branch the central idea within Radial Map. So if that's the sort of thing that you're looking at, then Radial Map would be, the functionality that might work better for you. Okay, so I just want to check if anyone has, any further questions. Or any other features that you would like me to go through before I finish this session. Okay, so just to reiterate, this webinar has been recorded and we'll send that out tomorrow so you can watch it back in your own time. And there are plenty of resources to go through. If you wanted to find out more just about, different features, and, as I say every week, if there's anything else that you just can't find the answer to, or you're really not sure of, just pop us over an email at support@ayoa.com and we'd be happy to help. Okay, I hope you found this session useful. We've explored the different features available in Ayoa that you would have used in iMindMap, the new features that replace those old features and the benefits of Ayoa compared to iMindMap. I really hope you found it useful. And I hope that you give Ayoa a try. Oh, thank you very much. I'm really glad I did hear about that. I'm glad our team was able to help you with that. We make updates to Ayoa all the time, and I can't stress how liberating that has been for the team. We're constantly making improvements and adding new features, and we're really excited about the possibilities for Ayoa. You can sign up for an account for free, and test out a whole load of different features. So just give it a go. Import a mind map you've already created in iMindMap, and just give it a go. See how you feel, and if there's anything you're not sure of, just pop us an email. Okay, so thank you so much for taking the time to join this webinar today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much.